Today is August 20th, 2023. Outside in the state of Idaho, the Boise, Idaho, there is currently a large crane, and Boise is growing, and a it's building a building. It's a Sunday, so it's sitting there idle, but there is a flag that is hanging down from it. It's the U.S. flag. And outside is cloudy, it's windy, and the flag is fluttering. And it's a consequence of the hurricane that is around it. And inside here, the air condition is on. The outside temperature is probably at about 70 to 80 degrees. Inside it gets a little chilly because the AC is on strong, and so I had to put my jacket on. So now I'm um, and then now I see Office Evolution is in downtown, and there are fingerprints there, one here, one there, where I was sitting here late a few nights ago, and somebody just ran into it to cause a big bang against this tempered glass. I suppose that was meant for me to be. I suppose that was meant to, because I was the only person here. I guess that was. See, I can see the palm print and the fingerprints there. I guess that was meant uh, to essentially release the uh, inner playful nature of the individual to create a disturbance in the person who was on the other side of, of the tempered glass. And I'm here, and thankfully, this building, the first floor, is occupied by Office Evolution, and I am the only person who's here on a Sunday, attempting to work. Now that I have spent a great deal of time and then have distinguished between gambling and really building upon this consistency, I am thinking about what are the criterias that allows me to have this advantage. Now, what is the advantage of an individual who's making these trades? It is the distinction between a gambler and a consistently profitable day trader right now seems to be weighing on a couple factors. One factor is the confluences that are used, and the other part is the probability. Now, confluences support the probability of the trade. And so the probability is defined by looking at criterias. It looks at criterias that allows me to define how my trades will be, the quality of my trade. And so the probability is based on the number of confluences that are supporting the idea. So if I have a confluence with a 50% strength in that confluence, in the knowledge and the revelation of that confluence supporting the thesis, with another confluence, uniquely, apparently in Forex, there is a thing called, apparently if I buy, if I, so there is a thing called, uh, if I buy a pair, and if I buy another pair, but they could be correlated. And so if they're correlated, then whether I buy this or that, it's buying the same thing. And so there has to be a separation between one uh, Forex pair with the another Forex pair, which means even if I look at it from that perspective, I need to define a clearly substantiated based on uh, based on based on verification, and that when I have a specific confluence with a fairly known statistical probability for that confluence and add another specifically isolated and independent confluence, put those together to create a thesis and then assign a probability, that means that the greater or stronger confluences that are used to support the probability, overall probability of the thesis, that increases the statistical probability of a particular trade. And so I am now embarking on that statistical probability, the building of the statistical probability of a particular trade based on the confluences that are supporting that main thesis. And professionals talk about, well, you want you want about three or four up, maybe around the sweet spot apparently is about four four confluences that supports the thesis, and these theses must have a consistency that provides a consistent statistical probability. And when those four uh, uncorrelated uncorrelated uh, uncorrelated confluences support a single thesis for to generate a statistical probability, then that becomes a great trade. That means that with that statistical probability of that particular situation, then that allows me to assign a specific win to loss ratio.